Hey guys, I wanted to give you my take on this whole day of rage thing. You know, this thing that happened on Wall Street. I think it was a joke, actually. The whole thing is just so sad. This country will never see any differences. We're never going to make any changes. In our government, in with the banking, with the bankers, these corrupt bankers. Nothing in this country will ever change. Whether you're upset with the tolls being raised, they just announced recently they're changing the tolls. I think from $8 to $12. It's going to raise $4, and they're going to get through with it. They're gonna actually implement this because nobody takes a stand. Nobody takes a stand. Now today's event that happened on Wall Street, I didn't even realize this. With all the stuff going on, I didn't realize it's Saturday. I lost track of what day it was. Why in the world would you make a protest on a Saturday when Wall Street's closed? Can someone please explain this to me? Can someone please explain this to me? If someone can explain this to me, why you make a protest on Saturday when Wall Street is closed, I'd really like to know. Because if I was organizing a protest, I'd probably do it on a Monday. Call me crazy, guys, but that's what I would do. Second of all, unless millions of people take to the streets, a couple of 100,000 people take to the streets, this is never going to work. There's not going to be any changes, guys. The only thing that's going to happen, you're going to see on the news maybe, is you're going to see police arrested about 24 people and maybe tear gassed a couple of people in the future, if these events actually ever happened and they got out of hand or something. But other than that, nothing is going to happen because, I don't understand why we took it. We made it maybe a Saturday because it was more convenient for us because we're not working. But people in the people in Egypt, people in Greece, people in other countries, they don't care. They'll do it on a Monday, they'll do it on a Tuesday, they'll do it anytime they think it'll have the most impact. And they'll have millions of people, or hundreds of thousands of people getting on the street. And that's something that, a lot of people on Blog TV speak about. It's impossible to get people in this country together as a unit because if it doesn't deal with sports and it doesn't deal with drinking and it doesn't deal with stuff like that, it's almost impossible to get that many people together as a unit and do anything together. And that's the way it is. It's just the psychology of the United States people. It's just the people in the United States. You cannot get people together unless it's on a weekend, and that's it. It's crazy. And in my opinion, nothing's ever going to change in this country. Now you're going to say, why didn't I go? Well, I didn't go for the reasons I just told you. Because if I did go and something did break out, I'd end up being arrested, tear gassed, or tasered, or whatever. And they'd probably throw my ass in jail with the rest of a couple people. And, the news would go on. It would be, one of the 15-second news articles, and life would go on as usual. On Monday, the stock markets would open up, and the corrupt bankers would start doing their business, and millions of dollars would change hands, and life would go on as normal. So that's why I thought I'd make this video right now, telling you my thoughts on this whole thing. I think it's a joke. I really do. If they wanted to do something big, they would start on Monday, and hundreds of thousands of people would show up. I don't know how many people showed up, but I'm sure it's not even 100,000 people. Maybe a few thousand people showed up. That's not a lot. That's not a lot considering New York has about 6 million people. That's not a lot at all. So that's just my thoughts on this whole thing about this day of rage. Day of rage. So anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on that. Tomorrow I'm going to have a Blog TV show, and I know I'm only going to get 30 people. So that's another thing, guys. I'm not expecting 1,000 people on my show. I'm not expecting 100 people. I can't even get 100 people to my show. I'm not saying I'm that important, but, it's impossible to get that many people to something important. Talking about either the economy, or talking about what's going on in the environment, or talking about what's going on anything, anything in the world. It's just crazy. Anyway, guys, talk to you guys tomorrow.